Have you ever felt pressure to know exactly what your purpose is? As if life were a puzzle that you're supposed to solve quickly, as if everyone else already knows what they're meant to do, while you're still searching. Maybe you've asked yourself questions like, what am I meant to do with my life? What is my purpose? Why haven't I found it yet? And maybe those questions have felt heavy, not inspiring, but stressful, as if not knowing means you're behind, as if uncertainty means you're doing something wrong. But what if not knowing your purpose is not a problem? What if it is not failure, but part of the journey itself? We live in a world that loves certainty, clear plans, defined goals, straight paths. From a young age, we're often asked what we want to become, not what we enjoy exploring, but what we will be, as if life were meant to be decided early and followed without hesitation. But life rarely moves in straight lines. Most journeys are not clear from the beginning. They unfold slowly, through experience, through curiosity, through mistakes, through discovery. Think about walking through a forest. When you first enter, you may not see the entire path. You see only what is in front of you, a few steps ahead, not the destination, not the ending, just the next step. And yet, you continue walking, not because you know everything, but because movement itself reveals the way. Purpose often works the same way. It is not always found in a single moment, not always discovered like a hidden treasure. Sometimes it is built, formed gradually through small experiences, through trying things, through learning what feels right and what doesn't, through paying attention to what brings meaning, even in small ways. But many people believe that purpose must be clear, defined, permanent, and when it isn't, they begin to worry. They compare themselves to others who seem certain, others who speak confidently about their direction, others who appear to have everything figured out. But appearances can be misleading. Many people who seem certain are still questioning, still learning, still changing. Because purpose is not always a fixed destination. Sometimes it is a direction, a feeling, a sense of meaning that evolves over time. Not knowing your purpose does not mean you are lost. It may simply mean you are exploring. And exploration is not failure, it is discovery. There is also freedom in not knowing, a quiet kind of freedom. Because when everything is not predetermined, possibility remains open. You are not locked into a single path. You are allowed to change, to grow, to reconsider, to evolve. Imagine if life demanded that you choose one direction and never change it, never adjust, never learn something new. That would not be growth. That would be limitation. But uncertainty creates space. Space for curiosity, space for creativity, space for learning. Sometimes the pressure to find purpose comes from believing that purpose must be grand, something impressive, something visible, something extraordinary. But purpose does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks simple, helping someone, learning something new, being present in your daily life, finding meaning in small actions. Purpose is not always about what you achieve. Sometimes it is about how you live, how you treat others, how you treat yourself, how you move through life with awareness. There is also patience in not knowing, because answers do not always arrive quickly. Some questions require time to experience life, time to observe yourself, time to notice what resonates deeply, what energizes you, what gives you a sense of meaning, and often those answers appear quietly, not as sudden revelations, but as gentle realizations. Moments where something feels right, moments where something feels meaningful, moments where something feels aligned, but alignment requires listening. Listening to yourself, listening to your curiosity, listening to your interests, even when they seem small, because small interests can grow into meaningful directions. Just like a seed does not become a tree overnight, it grows slowly, root by root, branch by branch. Purpose grows the same way, gradually, quietly, often without announcement. And sometimes the greatest obstacle to discovering purpose is the fear of being wrong, fear of choosing incorrectly, fear of wasting time, fear of starting something that does not last. But no experience is truly wasted. Even paths that don't continue teach something. They reveal preferences, they build skills, they strengthen understanding, they shape who you are. Every step adds information, every experience adds clarity, even uncertainty adds wisdom. There is also comfort in accepting that purpose may not be singular. You may not have just one purpose. You may have many different purposes at different stages of life, different forms of meaning. As you grow, what matters to you today may change tomorrow, not because you failed, but because you evolved. And evolution is natural. It is expected. It is necessary. So maybe instead of asking, "What is my purpose?" you might ask, "What feels meaningful right now?" Not forever, not perfectly, just right now. What sparks curiosity? What feels interesting? What brings a sense of quiet satisfaction? These small questions lead to meaningful paths, not instantly, but gradually, and gradually is enough. Not knowing your purpose is not emptiness. It is openness. Openness to learning, openness to discovering, openness to becoming. You are not required to have everything figured out. You are allowed to be in progress, allowed to experiment, allowed to wander, allowed to change direction. There is also peace in releasing the urgency to define everything, because life is not a race to find purpose. It is a journey of discovering meaning, and meaning is found in moments of connection, moments of learning, moments of presence, moments of curiosity, not just in grand achievements, but in everyday experiences. So if today you feel uncertain, if you feel unsure about your direction, if you feel pressure to have answers, pause for a moment, breathe slowly, and remind yourself not knowing is not failure. It is possibility. It is space waiting to be explored. It is time waiting to be experienced. You do not need to rush clarity. You do not need to force certainty. You do not need to have everything defined. Sometimes the most meaningful discoveries arrive when you allow yourself to explore freely, without pressure, without fear, without rigid expectations, because purpose is not always found in one dramatic moment. Often, it is discovered in quiet steps, in small choices, in everyday experiences. And perhaps one day, when you look back, you will realize that purpose was not something you suddenly found, but something you gradually created, step by step, moment by moment, experience by experience. So if you don't know your purpose yet, that is okay. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are becoming. And becoming takes time. It takes patience. It takes curiosity. And most importantly, it takes permission to not know, because sometimes not knowing is not confusion. It is the beginning of discovery.